New York's premier news organization with lead anchor John Garcia Jr., co-anchor Jeff Landset, lead reporter Rachel Silver, sports with Sean O'Brien, and Sharday Edwards weather.
Coming up on NCC News at 4,
the Republican candidate for governor is in Syracuse today. We'll tell you about his plan for your taxes.
And the town of Cicero prepares for a discussion that could determine the future of the local police force.
And the downtown farmers market is in full swing. We have the latest on the freshest fruits and veggies in town. NCC News at 4 starts right now!
The town of Cicero is looking at whether or not they want to keep the police force local. Good afternoon, I'm Jeff Landset.
And I'm John Garcia Jr. Residents will finally have a chance to say their piece on potentially merging with the Onondaga Sheriff's Department. And that's our top story. NCC News reporter Rachel Silver is live at the police department in the town of Cicero for a preview of tonight's meeting. Rachel, what can you tell us?
Well, John, tensions are building here in the town of Cicero as residents get ready to weigh in on what they think about the local police department. The town's police study committee is holding what they're calling listening sessions here at the Cicero Fire Department tonight in order for residents to say what they think about the potential merger between the local police and the Onondaga County Sheriff's Department. They have 3 minutes to speak, and this is emphasized that this is a discussion and not a debate. There's not going to be any back and forth going on. They get 3 minutes to say what they think and why. So the committee is going to be looking at these opinions in addition to any kind of research on what kind of money and resources would be saved should they decide to merge with the department. Now, I spoke earlier to the town supervisor who said that although they're looking at these things, money is not the only thing they're considering.
I have said from day one that there's 3 S's involved with this. First is safety, second is service, and then third is savings. And that's the way it needs to be looked at.
Now, John, if people miss the meeting tonight, they still have opportunities to speak their mind. There are going to be 2 more listening sessions coming up next week. One on Wednesday at the Brewerton Fire Department and the other on Thursday at the South Bay Fire Department. Both of these meetings will be running from 7 to 9, just like the one tonight, and people will again get 3 minutes to say their piece. Live from the town of Cicero at their police station, I'm Rachel Silver reporting for NCC News.
Thanks, Rachel. Sounds like there'll be some heated discussions. The final vote on the possible merger won't take place until later this fall. The Fayetteville Fire Department has a new location, a used car dealership. The dealership is temporary home until a new station is built. Demolition began on the old one yesterday, and construction will start once the building is torn down. The new station will be spacious, which will be a help when answering a call.
It will help us increase staffing levels by having the ability to keep more people in the station overnight or during the day, and that should in turn reduce our response times a little bit.
The new fire station will cost $6.5 million and is expected to be complete in 12 to 14 months.
Republican candidate for governor Rick Lazio was in the Syracuse area today. He made a stop at the O'Brien and Jeer Engineers manufacturing facility in Fayetteville for a tour and talk with the people about the state of healthcare and future employment in the central New York area.
But we can't take companies like this for granted, that they're going to stay here. They struggle with the decision, it seems like, every year between the tax burden, the regulations, a government that is out of touch and somewhat distant from the people who are creating the jobs. And we just can't afford to lose an O'Brien and Gear. We need them here in this area, we need them growing here, and we need to have a governor and a government that respects them and partners with them so that we can continue to grow these jobs.
Lazio says he is a leader who shows leadership and his commitment to reform. And even though GOP leaders have chosen Lazio as their candidate, one runner-up isn't taking no for an answer. Today, Buffalo developer Carl Palladino is asking potential supporters to get him on the ballot for a September primary. Palladino's campaign office tells us that they're starting to send out letters today. It's all part of a petition drive to get the 15,000 signatures he'll need to make him a contender. Palladino got only about 8% of the GOP's convention votes. He says he'll use $10 million of his own dollars to force Lazio into a costly primary race.
And breaking news out of Albany this afternoon. You may remember how New York Senator Pedro Espada led the debilitating coup that shut down the Senate last year. Today, NCC News has learned he's once again in position to put the entire state government on hold. Espada says he'll vote against any more emergency spending bills, even if it means the state government will grind to a halt. Espada says he hopes the move will force legislature to pass a full budget.
New York's new electronic waste law has been approved by the state legislature. I found out what it all means for Central New Yorkers and their old electronics.
If you want to get rid of your old electronics, there's not much you can do in Syracuse. The city doesn't take them anymore in trash pickup, and most recycling places charge you $10 to throw away your own junk. But the new e-waste bill should change that.
And the new law says that manufacturers will need to be responsible for getting rid of their televisions and other electronics. So that means TVs like these won't have to sit on the streets for weeks.
People at the Onondaga County Resource Recovery Agency are excited about the bill as well.
It will probably make it a little bit easier for them to recycle their material, and on top of that, it will more than likely be free. So that's always a bonus. That means more material will be recycled.
One local business owner is looking forward to next April when the bill goes into effect. Bruin Computer Trading buys old computers and resells them, and the owner says the new law will help him out.
We won't get so much of the junk. We'll get the better stuff and be able to buy the better stuff so that we don't get so much, mix of stuff and, buying the good stuff with the bad stuff. We'll just buy the good stuff. So it will pretty much streamline our business, I believe.
There are some opponents of the new bill. If a company doesn't take enough e-waste in, they'll have to pay a fine. And some say that gives manufacturers an incentive to move their business out of state. New York is now the 23rd different state with a similar e-waste recycling program.
Hancock Airport is set to launch some new security improvements very soon. Next year, the airport will combine its 2 security checkpoints to one located in the main lobby. The Department of Aviation says this will make TSA more efficient, getting passengers through the security faster. The city will not be paying for any of these renovations.
100% by passenger facility charges. That is a $4.50 charge that is added to the price of an airline ticket.
The first part of the project will relocate an existing concession kitchen and will begin in about a month. The Department of Aviation hopes to start the rest of the updates beginning 2011 and says the project should take a year and a half to complete.
Syracuse has been rated as one of the best places to raise a family in the country. In a recent Forbes.com survey, Syracuse was ranked number 4 out of 100 cities in the U.S. Forbes says the ranking is because of its low crime rate, affordable housing, and educational opportunities. Buffalo and Rochester were also in the top 10. Well, there's a sure sign of summer in downtown Syracuse today. It's the official opening of the Downtown Farmers Market. Shoppers came out in force to the market, which is being held in a temporary new home at Clinton Square. Market goers sampled, squeezed, and bagged up an eclectic array of fresh fruits, vegetables, flowers, and more vendors say it's a nice way to get in touch with the community.
It's a nice clientele down here. The people are pleasant, and they appreciate fresh stuff.
The market will be open Tuesdays from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. through October 12th. And how about those huge clouds this morning? I wonder if they are here to stay.
Well, let's go outside to our weather reporter, Sade Edwards, for the answer. Sade?
Well, guys, it was partly cloudy this morning, and it's still cloudy this afternoon. But someone was out here to greet me when I came out to the weather deck. That was the sun. It's out here, it's beautiful. As I said, we had some clouds this morning, and they're still here, but the sun came out to greet me. The wind is at a nice clip. It's about 63 miles per hour right now, but we can count ourselves lucky because on this day in 1953 in Michigan, they actually lost over 200 homes because they had so many winds. But taking a quick look at our temperatures, we have 63, our barometer's at 52, our humidity is at 30, which is nice, and as I said, our winds are at about 14 miles per hour. So I'll have more of that information on what's going to be changing in our weather this week coming up next in our full forecast for the weather. Guys?
Thanks, Sade. And it's Super Tuesday. When we come back, we'll have the latest on the most contested national primaries set to be decided tonight.
And high-profile murder suspect Jorn Vandersloot is finally talking to police. We'll tell you what he's saying when NCC News at 4 comes back.